are ready to go. And when the flag drops, it all stops, at least it does for Sam Tordoff, and he's in a really difficult place. Not moving either is the Lotus 6 of Robin Ellis. He can't get a gear, Sam Tordoff can't get a gear, and through into the lead, David Franklin. And then, already past Howard Donald, comes the white and green car, number 600, and that is a change for 8th place as he goes by number 17, Charlie Martin's XK120 competition.
Here it comes up to the kink on the Lavender Straight.
Exactly so, Marcus. In fact, there are about a dozen cars in the shot. David Franklin knitting his way through in 5th in the Ferrari, that number 7 Ferrari, but the 600 Porsche easy to pick out, white with that bright green noseband. He's got to do exactly the same, and as you said, battling the whole way down the field. So you rely, they listened in the driver's briefing, Tordoff having to go round on the outside, a bit of everything going wrong for him there, nearly collecting the back of the number buckler. 51, which is the buckler. So he's lost out. It worked better for Franklin, but it'd be a lap or two and be on his tail.
Tordoff, who started on pole, are battling for 4th position at the moment, and Tordoff is going to sweep around the outside. And it's the really quick stuff where the lighter weight of the Porsche allows Tordoff to carry the momentum. You can see how big and square-rigged the Jaguar looks compared to the Porsche, and that really plays out on a quick circuit.
It does take longer to do anything. You look at the dynamics of the car into the chicane, but also through the long sweep of Woodcote. The balance that Marcus has been talking out through St Mary's absolutely replicated over here.
Stuart Graham in traffic, and here's 3rd, and away
Franklin's
from...
waved him past.
Yeah, Franklin's... Well, again, he sees the writing on the wall. He knows how quickly he's being caught. He can hold him up, or he can allow the quicker car to have a shot at another podium spot. So, again, it's about respecting your fellow competitors and the spirit in which the meeting is raced. So David Franklin gives up 3rd place to Sam Tordoff, and now Tordoff is charging after Stuart Graham for 2nd.
Franklin's car has been the quickest in a straight line in this race. Absolutely brilliant. 122 miles an hour last time. He's watching now to see what Tordoff does down at Woodcote. Tordoff can see Stuart Graham ahead of him in the open Jaguar. Up the road, he can then see just in the distance the number 11 Aston being drawn back towards them now.
Right, okay, well, what's in front of Stuart Graham? That's the question. Can the Jaguar driver in 72 hang on? He hasn't got the pace of the 600 Porsche. Sam Tordoff right onto his tail.
Turner's washed out, but he's kept the car, and right on this Tordoff tries to go around the outside of Stuart Graham, but he has to tuck back in behind.
Last lap for Sam Tordoff, but he lunges down the inside of Stuart Graham immediately, and through he goes. So he is up into 2nd now. Can Darren Turner keep the car on the island? Is the leader going to find oil? And will that be enough to warn Sam Tordoff? Could Tordoff yet win this from stone last in the race? It is only Darren Turner in front. The last lap, the last couple of corners, and I think Turner in the Aston Martin DB2 has done enough, has got enough. 2nd place from last on the grid, our poleman Sam Tordoff, just ahead of Stuart Graham by 24 hundredths.
Yeah, but Tordoff was obstructed by the other Jaguar coming out of the chicane.
They're going. McWilliams with the orange helmet jumps aboard the number 7, but it is going to be number 1 who disappears into the distance. That's the McGuinness, an English bike that leads. So
and John Corser's BMW got away really slowly. The number 11 bike barely moved.
Jeremy went to Europe and had this whole put your knee down. There's that first glimpse of Troy Corser. That's the 1936 supercharged BMW R5. Yes, 1936, it's 82 years old, and he's changing gear with his left hand. It's a solid rear end, so that's why it's bouncing around. The head's just skimming over the top of this Goodwood tarmac. And Corser, after a bad start, as you noted, Martin, now on a charge coming up behind, I think it's Charlie Williams.
Now with that right-hand gear shift outside on the tank, I wonder whether he just didn't get a gear and didn't get away, because the engine was clearly running. And as you say, solid rear end, so no suspension other than the air in the tyre. I mean, it must be a frightful thing. And he is riding it like an American dirt tracker. You know, he really is hanging off the machine and just trying not to fight it at any stage. Closing in fast. You better be aware of what's coming, because it's big and it's fast and it's supercharged.
McWilliams comes past our commentary position. He has a lead at the moment of, let's wait for the scoring to click through, of 2 seconds, and then look at this battle. Just look at this battle as Corser comes through to 2nd position. An 82-year-old motorcycle. This is a class, this is a race for motorcycles up to 1954, and yet he's on a 36 bike.
Because the next couple of minutes are going to be absolutely definitive in this race. Corser is on fire. 2 seconds a lap quicker than Jeremy McW last time round.
putting his backside right over the rear wheel to try and compensate for going over the curb on the exit of the chicane. McWilliams and Corser takes the lead as he goes into Madgwick. Oh, we're on lap 6 here at the Goodwood Revival. Corser has, well, is that the audacity to look over his shoulder, his left shoulder going through the right-hander? Now the race is on. They will be laughing until there's tears in their eyes, but McWilliams, he is not going to give up.
The starter that we're okay to go. The starter when then choose the moment when the flag will be dropped. There is the Union flag. Looks square at the front. Oh, very, very good start by Bill Shepherd. He likes horsepower. He used it, but he got very sideways indeed. And it looks like the pole man surely is going to be in the first position in the first corner. Chris Wilson, he's not a pro. He's on the inside, but he may not be in front when we sweep through the second part of Madgwick. It looks though around the outside. Let's have a front-on shot as they go down to FORDWATER. Who's in front? It's Tajero. Nick Minassian from the middle of the grid. AC Cobra is eat by dirt, he said. And by gosh, he's put a lot of dirt between him and the opposition. Into second place, Bill Shepherd. Pole man down into third, but Chris Wilson doesn't have the experience of these drivers, and he's going to hang on. He wants the excitement, Sam Hancock, of a race start here.
Yeah, and I expect he will have told himself, just get through the first lap, find your natural pace, find your natural position, hold on until the pit stops, and then hand over to the pro.
A very, very short wheelbase. It's almost as wide as it is long. The TVR Mike Whitaker knows how to drive that car, loves the way he has to drive it. In behind Chris Wilson, he's now into, let me see, still in 9th position, started on pole, but for an hour against the pros, he's put on a stonkingly good battle. Got lots of pressure from from Sean Lynn and the number 13 Cobra, but he's not letting him by.
Joe Twyman being demoted there by Lynn. Twyman sharing that car with Brendan Hartley, who we just saw getting his helmet on. And there's Chris Wilson, our former pole sitter, doing a great job as the field shakes itself out. He's finding his natural pace, getting comfortable, ready to hand over to André Lotterer, and the pit window is now open. Absolutely the bravest man here at Goodwood. He did not lift out of that for 1 second, and it helped him complete the move. Meanwhile, Lotterer piling on the pressure. Wally Bryant. So that is our original pole-sitting car that André Lotterer is now driving in 4th position. But remember, the Greensaw Watts car, that is now in
Lotterer is in 2nd position, because really effectively once the Greensaw Watts car is in the pit position, it's now just in the nick of time. Up into the lead goes Roman Dumas, number 47 Cobra. He's just been blocked by Steve Soper in the white and blue Corvette Stingray, and that gives Lotterer a chance to get a better run through the Madgwick. And you can see the cars that didn't stop
straightening up and heading onto the straight with a nice 1 car length cushion.
Well, he's gone out to just a whisker under half a second and still trying to hang on. Actually faster than the two of them was Ollie Bryant behind. His only hope is that the lead duo keep on taking chunks out of each other, not literally, but just in terms of moving the other car around and delaying each other. Wants to make it the 3 cars nose to tail. At the moment it's 3 seconds covering the top 3 cars and a blanket covering the top 2.
Here we go, he's doing it down the inside. Lotterer goes, he completes the move on the way outside of FORDWATER. Dumas had to lift, he washed a little bit wide out of FORDWATER down the dip, had to get out of the throttle. That allowed Lotterer through on the inside, and he's already pulled 2 car lengths on a run down into Lavant with you, Marcus.
Yeah, incredible. That was a super move, so clean. And it was well before the approach to the first bit of FORDWATER. And he's through.
It absolutely needs the other driver to get through unscathed, to bring the car home with tyres in good condition, with brake and clutch in good condition, so that he tees up the opportunity for the pro to take the fight all the way to the flag. And that's what Chris Wilson did. And I can hardly think of a more deserving owner if Lotterer can just get through the final 2 corners of this final lap.
Yeah, very easy for that to be an unheralded roll, but he kept his nose very clean indeed, did not lose a great deal of ground, and really held his head up very high alongside the pros alongside him. Fought hard, kept in the battle, and the number 2 Cobra coming out of the chicane for the final time. Victory for surely now André Lotterer. The checkered flag is out. There it is, the beautiful summer skies over the Goodwood circuit, and for Chris Wilson, hugs and applause all around. Congratulations.
He's dropped and away they go, and on the outside of the front row, great start from Andrew Jordan in the red Cortina. He leads coming up into Madgwick for the first time. Already Tom Kristensen making his way up the field on the outside, 2 wheels on the grass in the Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. There we go, there's number 10 BMW in the middle of that. That's Darren Turner in the bright blue car. Watch for that car coming through. It's all very exciting. Tom Kristensen kicked up the dirt on the outside. He barrels down the outside of a couple of Cooper S's.
But Lotus Cortina would go until Father Mike said that's how they're supposed to go, and he's definitely settled into driving it. Tom Kristensen, 3 more places gained in 12.
Yeah, 7th now. Up to 7th in that big white Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt, ahead of Steve Soper and Mike Conway. Lasso the back bumper of the of Kristensen's car, and the speed of that Thunderbolt down the straight. He looks down the inside of Jochen Mass. Jochen Mass is going to leave him some room. Are they going to door handle? No. All beautifully done. That fold in the side of the Fairlane Thunderbolt is by design. It's not something that's been crinkled against the side of a Galaxy. And Kristensen, absolutely superb. He had fastest lap last time round. He's leaving Jochen Mass to Andy Priaulx. Andy Priaulx not put off by the indicator going. Galaxy's in the pits, I think.
Oh yes, Andy Priaulx comes round alone, and they've been almost tied together for a huge number of laps.
Top 4 together. Up into 3rd comes Tom Kristensen. He's on the podium, in inverted commas, and he's monstering the 2 4-cylinder cars down into Woodcote Corner. This is absolutely sensational stuff. Remember, it's a 2-part aggregate race, because the other drivers are in tomorrow, in many cases the owners, and we've got Stippler will be handing over to Alex Fioriani, Shedden to Matt Neal, Tom Kristensen to Henry Mann, and Andy Jordan to his dad. And
well,
it's up in second.
Up to second, but you see, Andrew Jordan got to see the Thunderbolt approaching, but Gordon Shedden, the meat in that 3-way battle at the front, I don't think really knew what was happening, and suddenly he's got a new car in his tail. Not the red and silver Lotus Cortina, it's the Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt, and he's making such short work of it on the run to FORDWATER. Boom! Into the lead goes Kristensen.
Absolutely sensational. And we've got up the inside. Sheds decided now's the time to pounce. He found a line there that was innovative, to say the least, and he got past Frank Stippler, and it's a Ford 1-2 again.
Now, it matters not, though. Kristensen powering around the final lap. Don't forget, he doesn't know this car. He only got 1 lap in practice yesterday. Made a mockery of it all. What a great car. What a fabulous driver.
Pure class. He's gone past Darren Turner in the blue BMW, and Tom Kristensen on the final lap comes down into Woodcote Corner, absolutely millimetre perfect onto the apex of the corner, hits the brakes, off the brakes, turns it in, gets it all straightened up, big opposite lock, up over the curbs, and then fishtails under acceleration, 29th on the grid to win this first part of the St Mary's Trophy.
You know, he is right on the front row. Can they push him out of the way? Because everybody's going to be charging past him, and that is a terrible situation. And a chance of an accident just grows with that problem.
And that is achingly bad news for Phil Keane. He's come to the grid in, well, half a dozen cars, I think, nearly this weekend, hunting for a win. And this was perhaps his best chance.
Now, is everything sorted for the Keane car? That's the question. They're holding him there. Are they going to be starting him from the pit lane whilst the last man has gone past him?
And inside the Cooper Monaco of Justin Mears, that is a change for 11th place for Phil Keane.
5 places in the lap there.
Could he finish on the podium?
Good indeed, good indeed. He's got some gobble ups from small cars
Hasn't
ahead
he,
of him.
though? And that is the dark car of James Wood, owned by Karina Laumann. Whoa, and Phil Keane just stepping on the loud pedal. The Jaguar kicks the car sideways, but he's got it all under control, and he moves up another one. He is now into 10th place. Phil Keane was 1.4 seconds quicker than anyone in qualifying.
Keane and Minshaw nose to tail.
Yes, Hart, Minshaw and Keane all nose to tail run past me.
Meantime, keep an eye on 6th position Keane on the left-hand side. The yellow Lister Nobly, he's done the fastest lap of the race, 125.1 on the last
Keane
circulation.
In 5th place.
This Lister, never mind the Sadler.
Oh, look at Majoub on the inside, and here comes Phil Keane, the green and yellow. He's trying to find a way through. Marks is going to be lunging down into St Mary's.
Rocketed past John Burton in the Alton Jaguar, and Phil Keane looks to the inside. Is there room? Yes, there is.
Even for a Lister, it's not all about the power, it's torque that wins you motor races.
Yeah. Absolutely, when you're having to joggle around in traffic and pass people left, right, centre, change your mind. He's got the run down the straight, all done.
Standing still, relatively.
So up to 3rd place from the pit lane. I'll tell you what, we might have almost a photo finish for the final lap of the final race, and around the outside, Phil Keane sweeps past Ollie Bryant. The big Lister Knobley out corners the Lotus 15.
Fastest lap of the race, including going over the grass.
Penultimate lap of the race, penultimate lap of the weekend. Phil Keane in hunter killer mode. Roger Wills not long for the lead of this race in the Lotus 15. Surely started on the outside the front row.
Wills understeered at St Mary's. That's going to cost him a bit of time. They're together at Lavant. There are now 1 minute and 876. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last minute.
Yeah, he's through. He's
he's
through.
off,
And
yeah.
he leads from pit lane to leading the race. Unbelievable. The best race has been saved to the last one in 2018.
And it is going to be the checkered flag and victory in the Sussex Trophy for Phil Keane in the Lister Knobley. What a drive from pole to the pit lane, from the pit lane to victory. Pole, victory, straightforward.